What's going on, people? I hope everybody is cool. So, I wanted to hop on here real quick, man, and just share this story with all of the traveling tattoo artists, okay, abroad. Uh, you got to move careful out here, man. You got to be careful, okay? You got to move wisely in these streets, especially when you're traveling, going into random strangers' homes to provide services. This is according to CWB Chicago, okay? I'm going to read the article and dive into it. Now, I'm reading straight from the phone, so I may mess up, screw up on a word, etc. Excuse me if I do, but I read pretty good, so we may be all right. Let's dive into it. The article goes on to say, man robbed tattoo artist at gunpoint while on electronic monitoring for 2 armed robberies, prosecutors say. Okay, so this is the guy right here who robbed the tattoo artist. Okay, his name is Rayshawn Warship. All right. The article goes on to say, Chicago, after prosecutors accused Rayshawn Warship of robbing 2 people at gunpoint, including one victim who was standing next to a Chicago police surveillance camera, they asked Judge Caroline Glennon-Goodman to keep him in custody as a public safety risk. The judge, Judge Caroline Glennon-Goodman, that's the judge who was recently reassigned for sending out racist text messages. Y'all remember that story? She was just caught sending out racist messages to fellow judges, and somebody tricked on her and got reassigned. Yeah, that's her. That's the name. Anyway, the article goes on to say the judge refused and sent Warship home on electronic monitoring. Now, prosecutors say Warship robbed and pistol whipped a tattoo artist who came into his home to provide services to a woman. Okay, you see? Okay. He pistol whipped and robbed a tattoo artist who came into his home to provide services to a woman. Okay. He just knew that the tattoo artist was there that day, huh? He just knew. Okay. The article goes on to say, coincidentally, Glennon-Goodman was reassigned to traffic court this month after she circulated an image of a fake toy called, quote, my first ankle monitor, unquote, that included a rendering of a black toddler wearing an electronic monitoring bracelet. I just said that. I knew that was her. I remember that name. Okay. The article goes on to say on January 24th, okay, the phone is kind of jumping around. I'm reading straight from the phone. Okay, the article goes on to say on January 24th, a 36-year-old tattoo artist went to Warship's home in the 10300 block of South Low to do tattoos for a woman who contacted him via Instagram, according to Warship's latest arrest report. Now, I'm going to stop it right there real quick. I'm going to read that again. He went to the 10300 block of South Low to do tattoos for a woman who contacted him on Instagram. Whew. Bro, you in the hundreds. You in the hundreds. You in the wild hundreds. All right. I mean, shout out to all the traveling tattoo artists. Okay. I can see you doing that in Oak Brook, Hinsdale, Lake Forest, etc. But, when you start to get on down to the hundreds, you doing travel services, tattoos in Roseland. Shout out to everybody who lives in Roseland, man. But you all know what I'm talking about. You got some sketchy people out here. When you're doing tattoos, whether you're traveling doing it or have a shop doing it, tattoo services can bring sketchy people. It just is what it is. Can bring sketchy people, man. I don't know if I would have been doing travel services for tattoos in the hundreds. I don't know. What about y'all? But anyway, the article goes on to say, while the artist worked, as in doing tattoos, Warship entered the room while armed with a pistol and an extended ammunition magazine, the report said. He went through the victim's pockets, handed the man's valuables to a second person, and then struck the victim in the face with a handgun, officials said. Okay. The victim ran away and called the police. He told officers that Warship took about $200 cash and the keys to his 2015 Audi, which was missing, the report said. Okay, so he gets contacted via Instagram by a woman. She tells him to come to the house to do tattoo services. He goes to the house in the Hunnits to do tattoos and finds himself getting robbed by Warship. Okay. The woman wasn't robbed. Okay. I'm sure he knew the woman. Sure, he knew the woman. This is why you got to be safe, man. Sounds like a setup. Could have been a setup. I'm not saying it was a setup, but it could have been a setup. You know, hey, bruh, it's a tattoo artist online. He do travel services in Chicago. I'm going to tell him, come over here, do a tattoo for me. And before he really gets into the tattoo so I can go get it covered up, before he really gets into the tattoo, gon' come in and rob him. I'll call you later on so you can meet me on 95th and Halsted to give me my cut, bae. Or give me my cut, bruh. You know? Real talk. Hey, this is real. These things happen, man. These things do happen. Okay? It says, Warship answered the door when the police knocked. Okay, so they already got the call from the tattoo artist who told her he was just robbed. Okay, and then the police came out to arrest the robber. Okay, so the article goes on to say when the police came to the dude's crib, Warship answered the door when the police knocked and they took him into custody. His arrest report notes that he was wearing an ankle monitor on his left leg. So he's on ankle monitoring and robbing people. Robbing people. Wow, man. This dude is actually pulling robberies while he's being monitored. While he's being monitored. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. The article goes on to say Judge Mary Marabio detained him on fresh counts of armed robbery and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Then the rest of the article just talks about him being a scumbag and going out terrorizing other black people within the community. All right. So he's a robber. He's going out terrorizing upstanding black people within the community. Okay. We don't have to. Okay. Well, I'll read this. Okay. In late August, let's read a little bit more about Warship. In late August, Warship and an accomplice were charged with robbing two victims within a matter of minutes. At about 8:15 a.m. on August 27th, the 41-year-old man was walking home from taking his nephew to school when a gray SUV pulled up near him in the 3300 block of West Polk. The alleged accomplice got out of the passenger seat, pointed a gun at the man's face, and searched the man's pants for valuables. Okay. While that was happening, Warship allegedly pointed a gun at the victim from the SUV's driver's seat. Okay. The pair fled with the man's credit card, driver's license, and about $1,430 in cash. Okay, we can stop there, man. We can stop there. We just, we see what type of dude Warship is. Okay, he's out, like I said, he's out terrorizing other black people. And listen, to upstanding black people, to hardworking black people, people who are not trying to pull capers and hit licks like Warship. Okay, people who are not a threat to society, black people who are not out living like Warship, because you got a lot of black people who don't live like Warship. They work hard, they work smart, okay? They provide for their families. They're not out hitting licks and trying to pull scams and capers and all of that. They're out there doing the right thing. Listen, you cannot build up a strong black community with people like Warship. If Warship doesn't want to change his mindset, then guess what? Warship needs to be put out of the community. You get what I'm saying? For example, O-Dog in the movie Menace to Society. O-Dog was a straight up killer, right? I mean, he was crazy. Okay, so imagine black people saying, hey, we have had enough of O-Dog. We're going to rebuild the community, but we're going to leave O-Dog in it. What do you think is going to happen? O-Dog, if he hasn't changed his mindset, is just going to tear down the newly built community, right? That's another video for a different story. But anyway, to the traveling tattoo artist, man, you have to be very careful, okay? This tattoo artist, man, was traveling in Chicago doing tattoos. He's in the hundreds. He's in the hundreds going to people's houses doing tattoos. I don't know if I would have did that. Me personally. I don't know if I would have did that, because you're not traveling around Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, okay? This isn't Hinsdale. Okay? This isn't Naperville. You're in the wild hundreds doing tattoos, and you're traveling to people's houses. I don't know if I would have did it. You got to be careful out here, man. You got to be careful. Could have been a setup, probably wasn't a setup, but you got to move differently, okay? especially in certain places. It just is what it is. And that's no disrespect to the certain places. Listen, the people who live in those certain places will tell you to move differently in these places. Okay? It just is what it is, man. So to the tattoo artists, if you're traveling abroad doing tattoos, cool, get your money, but be careful as to where you're going because somebody may be trying to hit a lick, all right, and get you. Thank God this man wasn't killed. Thank God he wasn't killed. Okay? Be careful, be wise, be safe, man. Till next time, I'm gone. Peace.